In a quiet, deeply religious town where life centered around the Catholic Church, Father Michael was a respected figure, trusted by all. But behind his facade of morality, he crossed a dangerous line, engaging in a forbidden affair with Sarah, a married woman who had sought his guidance. What began as temptation spiraled into a web of betrayal, pregnancy, and abortion, and murder. This is a tragic story of a priest succumbing to temptation, a woman seeking solace in the wrong arms, and a town shattered by the devastating secrets that unraveled its peace. The town was serene, the kind of place where time seemed to slow down. People lived simple lives, working hard and placing their faith in God. The Catholic Church, a large stone building with towering stained glass windows, stood proudly at the center of town. It was a symbol of unity, a place where everyone gathered on Sundays to pray, to confess, and to feel part of something greater than themselves. Father Michael had been the town's beloved priest for over a decade. Known for his kindness and wisdom, he was more than a spiritual leader, he was a trusted friend. No one could have imagined he would break his vows to God. Sarah, a beautiful woman in her 30s, was trapped in a distant marriage with her husband, David. Feeling lonely, she sought comfort in church, and her innocent conversations with Father Michael soon deepened into something neither expected, as they both found themselves drawn to each other. It all started so simply. After Mass, Sarah would stay behind a little longer, and Father Michael, always kind, would offer a few comforting words and a gentle smile. But over time, these moments became something they both looked forward to. Their talks grew longer and more personal, as they shared feelings they couldn't tell anyone else. Sarah, feeling alone in her marriage, found comfort in Father Michael's caring presence. For him, these moments with Sarah stirred something deep inside, making him feel like more than just a priest. He felt like a man, craving the connection he had long pushed away. Each look and every word between them became harder to ignore as their bond grew stronger. Neither of them knew exactly when it happened, but their relationship crossed a line, a touch that lasted too long, a look that meant more than words. Soon, they were meeting in secret. At first, they just talked, but it quickly became physical. They knew it was wrong and against God, but they couldn't stop. Their desire took over, leaving them trapped in guilt and passion. Father Michael still preached about faith and morality, and Sarah acted like a loving wife. But their affair was a secret. The moment Sarah realized she was pregnant, her world came crashing down. She had suspected it for a few weeks: the morning sickness, the fatigue, the telltale signs. But when the test confirmed her worst fears, she knew there was no going back. The child was Father Michael's. There was no way she could hide this. Terrified, Sarah went to Father Michael, her hands shaking as she told him the news. His reaction was immediate panic. He paced the room, his mind racing through the consequences. If the town found out, it would be the end of him. He would lose everything: his position, his reputation, his life. For Sarah, it would be just as bad. The scandal would ruin her marriage and destroy her life. Father Michael felt trapped, believing there was only one way out: the pregnancy had to end. As he voiced his decision, he noticed the struggle in Sarah's eyes, her maternal instincts clashing with the weight of their secret. She felt torn, fearing the consequences of their actions while longing for the life growing inside her. But Father Michael was resolute, his desperation evident. "If we don't do this, we'll lose everything," he urged. With a heavy heart and tears brimming in her eyes, Sarah reluctantly agreed, knowing that their choice would haunt them forever. The abortion was arranged in secret, far from the town where no one would recognize them. Sarah was racked with guilt, but Father Michael reassured her that it was the only way to save them both. They hoped that once the procedure was done, they could return to their normal lives, bury the secret, and move on. After the abortion, Sarah felt lost and haunted by guilt, withdrawing from everyone around her. Each sermon from Father Michael about sin only deepened her pain. Finally, overwhelmed, she told him she had to confess everything to her. Father Michael couldn't let her do it. He had too much to lose. His fear of exposure, of losing his position, and the respect of the town took over. When Sarah threatened to tell David, something inside... That night, he went to her house, desperate to stop her. The argument escalated, their voices rising, and in a moment of blind panic, Father Michael grabbed Sarah. His hands tightened around her throat as he pleaded with her to stay quiet. But it was too late. The moment was irreversible, and when he finally let go, Sarah collapsed to the floor, lifeless. David came home later that evening to a scene of horror. His wife lay dead on the living room floor, and the police were called immediately. At first, the town was in shock. Who could have committed such a heinous crime in their peaceful community? As the investigation unfolded, dark secrets shattered the town's calm. Detectives quickly uncovered the affair between Father Michael and Sarah, leading to his arrest for her murder. The once revered priest's confession laid bare their tragic story: the affair, the abortion, and the desperate act that took Sarah's life. Shock and disbelief swept through the community, which had trusted him wholeheartedly. The church, once a symbol of faith, closed its doors, forever stained by scandal and tragedy. Father Michael received a life sentence, leaving the town grappling with the heartbreak of betrayal and the loss of innocence. The town tried to rebuild after the tragedy, haunted by the secrets that divided them. Father Michael's fall showed how darkness can hide behind a holy image.